So, seems like the manga reviews are going to stay for a while, according to the reception of the first one. Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to second manga review. I'm glad that the first part was doing quite good, so I decided to do part 2. Definitely not because I already had the script done. And today I decided to bring up one of my all-time favorites. Not necessarily on the sweet side, but one of my favorites, which is Megumi and Tsugumi. Now, this is Omegaverse, so it's definitely not going to be for everyone, but I love the story, and so I thought, why not include it in this mini-series, or whatever you want to call these reviews. So, what to say about this for the beginning? It's a story of a Alpha Megumi, which is this guy, and Omega Tsugumi, which is this guy. Honestly, this story gives me so much Kyohaba vibes. Like, if you told me that this used to be a Kyohaba fanfiction, I would believe that. Because you will see throughout the review, but I even tweeted about it when I finished reading it for the first time. So much Kyohaba energy, so of course I'm going to like it. So, let's go to synopsis and then we move on. Alpha Megumi learns from his buddies that they've been attacked by a guy in a mask armed with an iron pipe. He wants to clear things up and meets the aggressive fact Tsugumi. They immediately clash, but suddenly pheromones of an Omega waft through the air and throw the Alphas totally out of the loop. Also, can we just talk about how adorable the back illustration is? Very well captures their relationship, to be fair. So, as you can guess from the synopsis alone, this is a story of a very special Omega meeting a very special Alpha. Like, funnily enough, even though Megumi is supposed to be this bad boy type, delinquent Alpha, Tsugumi is much more looking and acting like a delinquent than Megumi, even though he's an Omega. The first time you meet him in the story, it's this image of a guy with a mask on and just scowling like crazy and an iron pipe in his hand. And you're like, okay, yeah, delinquent Alpha, okay. Even though in that scene he is actually saving a girl Omega from assault. But then you continue in the story and then you realize, wait a minute, that wasn't the Alpha. So yeah, they are very special, especially Tsugumi. As I said, this is Omegaverse. I don't usually read Omegaverse for the social commentary, but in this case the author is using it very nicely to question and ponder about consent through the main characters, each of them for a different reason, about the role of Omegas in society and how different people view them, which is also very important for their backstory. And even the fact that the Omegas used to be attacked before the society came up with medicaments to stop Alphas reacting badly to Omega's pheromones. Overall, it's a good commentary, definitely. And even though I don't read Omegaverse for that, I can appreciate it being there. I also like the way this author works with heats. Overall, Omegaverse is basically a free playground for writers, because there aren't many set rules, except for the secondary genders, and you can practically do anything with it. So I really like how this author is dealing with heats, when it's not necessarily a cycle, and Tsugumi, for example, goes into heat once when he gets aroused because of things that he remembers. The characters in this are honestly incredible. Like, very simple and yet quite deep, and it very well ties into the social commentary I talked about before. Especially Megumi, surprisingly enough, even though like the main focus is Tsugumi. But Megumi is a pretty deep character, surprisingly enough. What I like about him is how his current mindset is shown to be crafted from his backstory and overall his family situation. I'm not going to spoil because, yeah, why would I do that? But it's very well done. And I'm really glad that he's not the character who is just this delinquent who is awful to everyone because he had sad childhood, but he's actually a really kind and gentle soul. He's not even that much of a delinquent when I think about it. Make a picture for yourself when you are going to read this, but yeah, he's really kind. Tsugumi, on the other hand, is this kind of lovable idiot, and I say it with the utmost endorsement for him. He's absolutely dense in anything feeling related, but he's a cuddler, and according to Megumi, he's a cute eater. Like, it fits so well with my Kyohaba headcanons, honestly, because his family, and especially his parents, are absolute couple goals. And even with that, he is this prototype of defiant teenager who just does his own thing. Always grumpy unless he's in heat. And this alpha needs to destroy. But when you learn about his backstory, it makes sense why he is the way he is. It kind of takes away the entertainment from that, but at that point he's already entertaining in the way that he's trying to figure out his feelings, so it didn't really bother me in that part of the story. And it makes sense why he would form such a strange relationship with Megumi of all people. Or of all alphas, let's say. And for the most part, the story follows the trope of the top falls first, which is awesome because you don't really see that often. And especially with Megumi, he's a softie. Like, he doesn't seem like it, but he's a real softie, especially when his own feelings begin to develop. It's not that type of Omegaverse you think of when you say Omegaverse manga, when the alpha is just awful to the Omega and everyone around because he's an alpha. Yeah, as I said, Megumi is a really gentle soul, so if that's what you mind about Omegaverse, go ahead with this one. Besides that, there's a lot of other tropes, like accidental kissing, forced proximity, idiots in love, and all that stuff. So it's really fun to just follow them around and follow their struggles, or rather Tsugumi's struggles, about how he tries so hard to suppress his feelings, but it's not working. There are 2 smut scenes in this. Especially the second one is really good, and that says me, who isn't really into smut. The first one could be considered dubcon if you want to be really blunt about it, because they are both out of their minds because of Tsugumi's heat. Because Tsugumi refuses to take any medicaments to suppress it. He thinks he's going to suppress it with his sheer willpower, which isn't working. And it's causing trouble for everyone else. To be fair to Megumi, he tries everything in his power to not give in. He takes his own medicaments, he tries to stop himself, but it's not really working at that point. And Tsugumi later on even says that he wouldn't let Megumi do anything to him if he didn't want it. How much of that is really true in that specific moment is up for question, so I just wanted to be upfront about it and give a little warning in case you are sensitive to that kind of thing. They are definitely developing a very interesting relationship with each other, and honestly I can't wait to get my hands on the second volume, because considering how dense Tsugumi is, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to deal with his feelings by taking Megumi over the head with his pipe. So yeah, I definitely want to see that, because yeah, it's going to be hilarious. But I believe they will be a cute couple in the end. I'm not sure how many volumes this is going to have. So far there are 4 in the making. But so far, even from volume 1, it's 10 out of 10 for me. I can't wait to read more. Definitely recommend. It can be actually considered a pretty good introduction to Omegaverse trope if you've never tried it before. So go for it. Test it out. You'll see for yourself. but I recommend. So, that is going to be all for today's review. I hope I piqued your interest in this one. I really like it. It's an incredible story, and it's funny. It's a social commentary. It's sweet. Like, the two of them are incredible together, and as I said, I can't wait to read more. The next review is going to be slightly different than the first two, but I still think it kind of fits the theme, so I'm going to include that series. Some of you might already know which one I'm talking about because I talked about it before on streams, but yeah, you will see. It's a great series. I'm excited for reviewing that one. So thank you for watching and see you next time!